Okay, Dr. Rutledge, don't you say that sugar is bad? Yes, sugar bad. How about high fructose corn syrup? Really bad. How about artificially sweetened foods and drinks and artificial sweeteners? Really, really bad. Even worse than sugar. Dr. Rutledge, I gotcha. Because that is not consistent. Because you tell us we should drink Gatorade. And doesn't Gatorade have sugar and high fructose corn syrup in it? And I go, yes. So how can we explain this apparent contradiction? In general, don't eat sugar, sugary drinks, junk food, and Gatorade type foods. Then don't you advocate Gatorade? And I do, but Gatorade in theory, the way I'd like you to think about it, is not food. Gatorade is medicine to be used when you need it. And what kind of medicine is it? Well, I'd like to take you to Bangladesh, to Kenya, and to third world countries where little children are dying of dysentery and cholera. Okay? All around the world, maybe the #1 killer as far as number of lives lost is cholera and dysentery. And basically what happens, you get a bacterial infection and you start having so much watery diarrhea that you die. You die from dehydration. Now in the United States, we solve that by giving you an IV of sterile intravenous fluids. But in Bangladesh and other third world countries, there are no IVs, there is no sterile bags of fluid, and those children are dying. And so some people argue that one of the greatest scientific medical developments of this century, when you calculate the number of lives saved, is the invention of ORS. ORS, which is oral rehydration solution. What you do for those dying children is just give them some sugar and salt and water in just the right level. Sugar, sodium, potassium, water, life-saving to millions of children dying of cholera. And they've tried all different levels of sodium. More sodium, less sodium. More potassium, less potassium. More sugar, less sugar. Okay? Now my patients post-op have a version of that same problem. They're dehydrated from too little fluid. They're weak and tired in many cases because the surgery causes a massive loss of fluid. Swelling goes down. We've heard this week that we had 9 pounds of weight loss and 11 pounds of weight loss. That's 11 pounds and 9 pounds of water. Leah, did you weigh yourself?
Yes,
7 pounds. 7 pounds and
13 pounds.
13 pounds, okay? That's massive loss of fluid, okay? In fact, the surgery is so powerful that in many cases the fluid loss causes dehydration, weakness, and inability to get out of bed or even walk. And the solution is Gatorade, because Gatorade is ORS. Gatorade is oral rehydration solution. So you take a dehydrated MGB patient and give them Gatorade, it is the solution to their problem. Okay. Now, but it is sugar, and so we get some people who say, I live on Gatorade all day, every day for all of my life, and they get cavities and they can have a little bit less successful weight loss. So we say, Gatorade is medicine. We love it as a medicine. It should not be the foundation of your diet. And that's a subtle difference. Because people hear me talk about Gatorade, and they say, I must drink Gatorade all the time, constantly, because Dr. Rutledge says so. And what I would like to change that to say is you take it any time and every time when you feel a little bit dehydrated, but in general, your diet should be based on healthier foods.
What about the G2?
G2 is not oral rehydration solution. It is an inferior copy for Americans who want to drink sweet drinks with less sugar. So if you want to drink G2, you may. It's not my favorite choice, and it doesn't resuscitate or heal you from the dehydration as well. It's less sugar for less calories, but it's not as good a choice to get you over the weak and dizzies after the MGB.
What about elite drops? I read a lot about elite drops.
Elite drops are an invention of the devil. I've been trying for years to get rid of it, and I'm sure somebody, it's just ridiculous. Have a bite of a cracker. You'll get everything that's in an elite drop and more. Okay. Have a saltine cracker, a corner of it. You'll get all the sodium and potassium. It's like smart water. Smart water is not smart. Yeah. It's dumb water. Because it's dumb water because you have extra money that you need to get rid of. I just can't stand the cheap water. I need to buy the expensive dumb water.
But is it smart water pH balance?
Yes, and you can pH balance again for nothing with a little tenth of a spoonful of baking soda, or there's a million other things. To get it in smart water is just dumb. And now if you want to, it's no problem. I have the problem, you may have this problem, too many $20 bills at the house. They're just everywhere. I can barely walk, it's $20 bills everywhere. And so I buy smart water because I can get rid of those extra $20 bills. They're just in the way. It's like buying expensive vitamins. I want to buy the expensive vitamins. Well, Consumer Reports compared all the vitamins. They're all about the same. And I have taken care of 5,000 people over 12 years. I know the blood tests of thousands of people, and Walmart, OneSource, cheap vitamins will be fine. Now, there are expensive vitamins you can buy, and if you want to, again, that will help get rid of all those extra 20s that are around the house. Yes, sir, you keep asking.
I was told that coconut water is much better for you for rehydration than Gatorade. Is that?
That's not true.
That's not true?
No, absolutely not true. And the way that's been tested is in dying children in third world countries hundreds of times with hundreds of different kinds of solutions, and the Gatorade concentration of a little bit of sugar, a little bit of sodium, a little bit of potassium is the best. Okay? Now, it's like coral calcium. Do you remember coral calcium? Anybody taking coral calcium in here? Okay.
Should I stop taking it?
Well, I was wondering if you could step out with your mom for a second, because I'm going to say something kind of derisive against it.
I'll listen.
Yeah, it's just calcium.
That's right, I'll listen.
I'm done. It's just calcium.
It's just calcium?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't have to be from a coral.
Oh, okay.
It's just calcium.
Okay. Right.
But again, need to spend extra money on your calcium because you've got extra to get rid of, then that's okay to buy the coral calcium, but it's...
Speaking of calcium, is this okay from Walmart?
Calcium chews?
Yeah. 'Cause
Is that okay?
Well,
You mean for you now, is it okay? Is it okay if you eat it while I'm talking, or you mean after surgery?
After surgery.
No. What you should take is Tums after surgery.
So you stop this after surgery then?
I would, yeah.
Okay.
I drink a lot of Crystal Light now.
Terrible.
And you said
Terrible.
artificial sweeteners.
Terrible. They took mice. They took
But
mice.
you can't have diet soda and you can't have Crystal Light.
Right,
And you don't want to take in sugar.
right.
So what do you drink?
Orange juice.
Orange juice?
Right.
And it won't put weight on?
That's a great question, because isn't there sugar in that? And so let's take some mice, okay? We'll give one group of mice a diet drink, Diet Coke, and we'll give the other mice, not orange juice, we'll give them Coca-Cola, okay? At the end of 6 months, which group of mice is heavier?
Diet Coke.
Right. What's in Crystal Light? Diet Coke. Also, imagine, do you think Diet Coke or diet drinks help anybody lose weight? On your Crystal Light box, does it say scientific study showed 20 pounds of weight loss in the group of college students who drank the Crystal Light as opposed to the other group who drank orange juice? If that study was ever done, don't you think that would be there on the box? If you own that company, don't you think you probably have done that study just for interest? If you're selling millions of dollars of product? Go downstairs, get 10 college students, give them $20. Have them drink Crystal Light, and the other ones give them orange juice. Shh, don't tell anybody. If you were that company, wouldn't you do that? Or don't even take college students, get a couple of mice. You seen any of that research come out? If that was effective, if Crystal Light helped you lose weight, don't you think that company would tell us? Have you heard anything from them? You know why? Probably doesn't help you lose weight. It makes sense, so it's understandable. What you say is understandable. Dr. Rutledge, I don't want to eat all these calories. I think I'll have the low-calorie drink. But the artificial sweeteners cause mice to be heavier. Now, people get angry. They say, well, you say I can't have sugar. I can't have the unsweetened kind. What what am I supposed to do? And so it's like I tell people you can't smoke cigarettes and you can't have cigars. Well, what am I supposed to do then? Neither. But I don't like that. Well, sorry.
Do you have a preferred type or brand of orange juice? Is one better than the other?
No, not that I know of.
Okay.
When I look kind of at Consumer Reports for a lot of this stuff, and they've tested a bunch of them. Some taste different and things like that. But I think about this. Healthy foods, we all kind of know what healthy foods are. Crystal Light healthy? No, come on. Orange juice, grapefruit juice, tomato juice, kind of healthy.
Do you think if you owned a juicer and you squeezed your own, you would get the same benefit?
I think that's probably even better. We think that's a good idea. It's a little bit labor intensive for the average American.
I bought one.
Yeah.
I have a juicer and I use it all the time.
Yeah, that's a really good choice. Most of us can barely, microwave
Yeah.
something. So the idea of actually using a juicer and cleaning it, taking it apart, and well, this is not going to fit in the dishwasher. You mean scrub it by hand? That's crazy talk.
Maybe a good idea would be to make a lot and store it, in a glass container.
Right, and that's a good idea. And then, the other idea is, you make all of your meals at the beginning of the week and you freeze them in bags and you take them out of certain, if you're
If you have
organized,
time, yeah.
if you have organized, if you can do that, absolutely. Most of us, I had a power bar coming out on the way to work today, I know it should have been oatmeal and yogurt, and so ideally we should be eating fresh, under-processed, highly healthy foods. And Crystal Light ain't that. If you want to drink it, you may, is not my advice. It's a bad idea.
Changing
I
the
don't
subject.
like it.
Okay,
I'm opposed to it.
okay.
Can we drink unsweetened green tea at this stage? Or did you say something about the green tea reaching something?
I am annoyed by so much in life. And I cannot stand all the research that says green tea is good for you. Because it's just the worst tasting stuff and I don't like it. And I want to go to Starbucks and I want a blanking cup of coffee. But the research is not good on coffee, and there's tons of good research on green tea. So we ought to drink green tea. And it's also annoying to me to find that the research says regular iced tea, black tea, isn't as good as green tea. How can that be? It's the same leaf. But the research is very strong. Green tea helps you lose weight. Green tea helps protect against cancer. Green tea helps protect against gastric ulcers, which you guys are at risk for, so you should drink green tea.
Even caffeinated?
Caffeine, people get confused and think I'm opposed to caffeine. I say have all the caffeine you want. That's fine. As far as I know, I don't know caffeine being a problem. If you want caffeine, have caffeine. Some people drink coffee for caffeine. That's fine. Have all the caffeine you want, but have it in green tea.
Do you think that decaffeinated green tea has the same values of?
I have not seen anything on that, but I would assume that it's roughly the same. But there's so little caffeine in green tea, I think it's kind of a silly worry. I wouldn't worry about green tea. It's all the studies on green tea it's good. It's just wild.
How will we know two things about the possibly getting malnutrition, and it refers to in the book, and also the dehydration that you mentioned?
Yeah, dehydration. How do you tell if you're dehydrated? How do you tell if you're dehydrated?